Here I have 4 plants of Chilodoji F4 and they're ready for flowering. Flipping to flower is exciting, but it's also where a lot of growers make costly mistakes. Before you change that light cycle or before your auto-flowering plants start to automatically flower, make sure you've done these 5 things first. Number 1, lollipop. Lollipopping is a pruning technique where growers remove the lower growth, typically the lower 3rd or 4th part of the plant, the branches and the bud sites. This helps the plant focus its energy on top bud development. If you don't lollipop, the buds at the lower part of the plant end up being larvae. What does that mean? That typically means that the buds are airy and also very small. For these plants right here, I did very little training actually. Chilodoji is a very easy to train cultivar in my opinion. I just topped it once and didn't do any tie downs at all, and this is the structure that I got. But the bottom does need cleaning up, so I'm going to do that now. Many growers will do a lollipopping right before flipping to flower, and then even after getting into flowering, that stretch period, they will do that as well. But certainly a technique I do for every single plant that I grow, because let's be real, nobody likes larf, right? Number 2, defoliation. Defoliation is the selective removal of fan leaves from the plant to improve light penetration, airflow, and overall bud development. This is another thing that growers commonly do right before flipping to flower, as well as in the first several weeks of flowering during that stretch phase. Now I definitely need to get in here and defoliate these plants. They're very bushy. Chilodoji is known to be more of a squattier plant with tighter internodes, lots of foliage, so getting in here and doing a good defoliation is going to be key in order to ensure that air is flowing through that plant. If you don't do defoliation, well, there is risk of things such as hot spots and humid spots forming in the canopy, which can certainly lead to stress and powdery mildew. You definitely don't want to get that, so that's the reason why defoliation is listed as one of the things you must do before flipping to flowering. Number 3, provide proper nutrition. Let's break this down between organic and synthetic. If you're using organic or all-natural inputs, such as Stash Bloom, typically you'll do a top dressing before flipping to flower. Some people do it several days before flipping, some people do it on the day that they flip. Other folks will actually take a little bit of a gamble and they'll wait until they're a week or so into flowering and then do the top dressing. But most growers are going to do it right before flipping to flower. What I did for these plants is I used Stash Bloom. These plants are in 10-gallon grow pots, and for the application rate, which it says on the back of the bag, I needed 1 1/4 cup for this 10-gallon container. So yeah, top dress those nutrients, water them in, and you should be good for a chunk of the flowering phase. Now, what about those folks that are growing synthetically or a mineral-based regimen? Lots of bottled nutrients fall into this category, and a lot of you use those. Don't forget to actually switch to your Bloom Newts, either right before making that light cycle change or the day that you switch to flower. Now, I know there are so many folks out there that try things in order to get a better result. Some people actually don't make that switch from their veg newts to the flower newts until weeks 1 or 2 into flowering. But I think most of the folks out there, they will actually switch either on or slightly before flipping over to flower. I'd love to know in the comment section below, what do you do? Are you changing the Bloom nutrients while you're still in veg at all? Or are you waiting a week or 2 in flowering, then switching over to your Bloom Newts? Let me know down in the comment section below. Number 4, adjust lighting. You've probably heard me say this time and time again in past videos. 600 to 900 ppfd is the generally recommended amount of light that you want to give your plants when you're in the flowering stage. Now that's for a 12-12 light cycle. What that'll give you is 25.92 to 38.88 DLI, depending if you're at the 600 or 900 ppfd respectively. Now if you instead opt for an 11-13 light cycle, 11 hours with the grow lights on, 13 hours of darkness, 700 to 1000 ppfd is what is generally recommended. That's 27.72 to 39.60 DLI. Now some of you might hear that and say, hey Chris, I thought you said you can go up to 60 DLI. Yeah, absolutely, that has been studied. Like I mentioned in a past video, Dr. Bruce Bugbee over at Utah State University had tried that out and said you can go up to 60, but things really need to be dialed in order for that to happen. If you're increasing that light level, you also need to make sure you're increasing your nutrition. Your environment needs to be dialed in, temperature, humidity. Some people will elevate the temperature even more. And then more importantly, which I think is a lot of people's limiting factor, is increasing CO2. General range for that, if you're supplementing CO2, is anywhere between 800 and 1400 ppm. So yeah, you can go for a higher DLI, but your other conditions really need to be dialed in. But the takeaway here is before flipping to flowering, know that you're going to need to adjust that light intensity. Number 5, adjust the environment environment conditions. For the temperature, I actually keep this pretty much the same as I do in veg. I typically aim for 80 to 82 degrees Fahrenheit. Sure, the plant will grow if you're in the 70s, and the plant will also grow if you're higher than that 80 to 82 degrees Fahrenheit, but you could see some stress hit symptoms happen if you're going too high on the temperature. I personally usually keep it at 80 to 82 degrees Fahrenheit and don't actually reduce it till late in flowering. I'll drop the temp a little bit in order to conserve terpenes. But what you do want to adjust is the relative humidity. Many people recommend under 60% relative humidity throughout the flowering stage in order to prevent bud rot from forming. If you don't really look at RH these days and you're chasing after VPD instead, 1.2 to 1.5, I typically actually go up to 1.6 kPa, should keep you out of that range to where you're too humid and could have problems such as mold, mildew in flowering. Now, I did do all of those things, and at first the plant doesn't look very good, but give it 24 to 48 hours and they do bounce back very nicely, as long as you weren't too rough with the lollipopping and defoliation. Just about all the equipment you have seen in this video is from AC Infinity. I want to give a big shout out to them. They are sponsoring this video. And to hook up my viewers with a discount code, you can use code MrGrowIt15. That works on both their website as well as Amazon. And I'll definitely have a link to them down in the description section below. I'm sure there are some other things that may come to your mind when it comes to this topic, so let me know down in the comment section below, what do you do before flipping to flower? On the outro card here, the next video you can click on is tips for the early flowering stage. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace out.